Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about, is it safe in Thailand? So we're going to break this up into several categories because when you say is it safe in Thailand, safe for what? Are we talking about crime? Are we talking about walking around? What are we talking about? So first we're going to start talking about crime. Should you worry much about crime? So I'm going to give you the general overview and then some things that you're just setting yourself up for crime. The first thing is Thailand is a very safe place. I'm from the United States and I feel safer walking around Thailand than I ever would in parts of the United States. That being said, my wife feels the same way, and we know a lot of female expats that live here in Thailand for years that feel as safe as they could possibly be here in Thailand. You will, if you look at the news for Thailand, you will hear of petty crimes or crimes of passion that are going on between one Thai to another. But what we're talking about here is crime towards a visitor, a foreigner. It doesn't happen that often. Now, let's talk about when it's most likely to happen and where. So if you're someone who's going to go out late at night to the bar scene where everyone's drinking, where everyone's smoking and doing everything else that you can do here in Thailand, and it's late at night, and you're walking around with gold chains on, or a gold watch, or you're flaunting money everywhere, or you're in this scenario with all this going on and you go to an ATM machine, you basically are inviting every petty crime person to rob you. So don't put yourself in those situations. Don't put yourself right in the middle of everything decadent and whip out all your fancy jewelry and everything else to show off, whether it's other people, girls, whatever. You're just asking for it. If you doubt this, do a Google search in the news for Thailand gold necklace or gold watch or any of those things, or you're going to find that this kind of stuff happens quite often. So if you're going to put yourself in that scenario, don't take my advice about this is a safe place to be, because you just put yourself in the most unsafe environment in the first place. There are a few scams here in Thailand that you need to worry about. Been here 3.5 years. I've only seen one, so it's really the only one I'm going to go over. And I've only seen it happen in Bangkok. I've been to Bangkok back in 1990 where this happened, and then again in 2016, and the same thing happened. So that's quite a bit of time. So I'm assuming this scam's going on all the time. So you're walking downtown in Bangkok and somebody comes up to you speaking English and they're like, "Hey, hello, where are you from? What are you doing?" I hate to say it, but more than likely, if they just walk up to you and they're by themselves and they're saying this, they have an ulterior motive. They're trying to find out information about you. They're trying to sell you something. Basically, the guy was trying to get me to visit some blue sapphire place and sell me a bunch of sapphires. And I'm sure everything was not on the up and up, especially when I come back here 26 years later and another guy, not the same guy, tried doing the exact same thing. So there's scams that you need to be aware of. Just know that. Okay, now let's turn our attention to a different kind of safety. One is, let's talk about automotive. You're driving a car or a motorcycle here in Thailand. Is it safe? Absolutely not. It is mass chaos. Yes, you could probably find some countries that are more difficult to drive in than Thailand. But I'm going to tell you, be ready for the unexpected. Now, if you're from the US, couple things to note. They do drive on the other side of the road that you're used to on the other side of the car. And when we're talking about motorcycles, you got motorcycles going around any which direction, even against traffic, going the wrong way. And it's right as rain here. It's just things that happen. It's just mass chaos. And it will take you a while to get used to it. There's accidents that happen all the time. So I would definitely say make sure you have good traveler's insurance if you're coming here to Thailand on a vacation, or have insurance if you're planning on moving here. If you're looking for travel insurance for the amount of time you're going to be here, there's a link down in our description, so make sure to check that out. But when you do drive here, it is very dangerous. I got many friends of mine who have come here to visit and have been in an accident, including just a week ago, actually including a couple of days ago, another friend just ran off the road. No helmet on, anything. That's another thing, is make sure you do abide by the laws and wear a helmet. Everything I just said should make you want to wear a helmet. I kid you not, I'm driving down the road one day with my motorcycle, with my protective gear on, and a helmet, with my face mask. I got a video on this, and a bat flew by at night and smacked right into my face with its juices going all over the windscreen. You never know what's going to happen here in Thailand. So is driving safe? No. Another thing, there's a joke around here that safety comes last. So if you're going on any excursions, whether it be on a boat, whether it be in the jungle, whether it be on anything that you pay for, a four-wheeler, you name it, just remember that safety is your responsibility. Do not expect anybody else to take responsibility for your safety. I'm telling you, I don't care how much you pay for your excursion, you need to make sure you and your family are safe. So that is going to be all on you. And that being said, even walking around places in Thailand, there's trip hazards everywhere, and no one's going to listen to your belly aching. If you trip over something and fall down, you get up, you broke your arm, and you're complaining and want something done about this pothole you just tripped over, nobody cares. So when I say that the safety is in your department, it is. You better watch where you're going at all times. If you're bringing kids, you better watch them as well, because there's plenty of things for them to get hurt on. Not trying to freak you out, but the video is about safety. And I figure I'm overselling this to you, but I've seen all these scenarios happen one way or another over the last 3.5 years. Now, I also want to mention sun safety. Now, you may roll your eyes at this one. There are plenty of people coming here on vacation looking to get sun, and that's great. But what they're not prepared for is how brutal the sun is here. If you want a tan, you can get a tan here. Put some sunscreen on. Guarantee you're still going to get a sun tan. You just won't, hopefully, get sunburned. What I do see going on is girls, guys barely wearing any clothing whatsoever. They rented a motorcycle and they're riding somewhere not knowing it takes 30 minutes to an hour to get to where they're going. And by the time they arrive, they are burnt to a crisp, and the rest of their vacation is ruined because they can no longer put their skin out there in the sun because they screwed it up all in one setting. So make sure you are covering up with either suntan block, sunscreen block, or you're covering up with clothes. It's a real thing here. The sun is brutal. Also, I get a lot of questions on the channel about what about mosquitoes? What about mosquito-borne diseases? Yes, those things do happen here very rarely. If it is a big concern of yours, make sure you see a doctor and see what they suggest before you come over to Southeast Asia. So there are things as in dengue, things like that, mosquito-borne diseases. Don't let that deter you from coming over here. They do have, you don't need to bring it from your home country. They do have mosquito repellent here. You can buy it at 7-Eleven. You can buy it just about anywhere. Forget it at a restaurant. You can simply ask for it. More than likely, they're going to give it to you. And yes, you can get eaten up by mosquitoes inside a restaurant as well as outside. It's a real thing here. So just so you know, mosquitoes are a thing, but the mosquito spray they use here works great. It's cheap, and I would suggest you use Thai mosquito repellent for Thai mosquitoes. Last but not least, we're going to talk about food safety. Nobody wants to get any food diseases, food poisoning while they're on vacation or living here in Thailand. So my suggestion would be is always go to a place that kind of appears like they got a lot of business and the food's turning over really well, not some obscure maybe street vendor that's not getting any business whatsoever. So just try to go to a place that, you know, is in a busier part where they're turning over food on a normal basis. More than likely you won't get food left over from the night before. And if you do, by the way, get some food poisoning, you can get Cipro. I think it's the correct term is ciprofloxacin, something like that. It's an antibiotic. You can get it here in Thailand at any pharmacy, and it will knock it right out if you were to get it. So it may behoove you to buy some of that from the get-go. And if you feel like you've got food poisoning, you can go ahead and take it in your hotel or whatever right away. So I hope these hints were helpful for you. If you feel so inclined, buy us a coffee. We'd really appreciate it. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Give it a thumbs up. And I'm going to end this by saying thank you in Thai, which is Kap Kun Kap.